is time to step up to the governments and save crypto, or we're going to lose it. It blows my mind that these things keep happening in the United States and worldwide. And people in the crypto community are more worried about pump and dump schemes than actually stepping up for these regulations that are destroying crypto. We saw what happened in the infrastructure bill in the United States. We've seen countries worldwide adopt this. UK, Belgium, France, Germany. They're going to be banning crypto across the board if we're not careful. The United States government just did a presser, and the Build Back Better failed. And not only did it fail in the United States, it's been failing worldwide. Make no mistake, BBB is not a USA thing. You see Trudeau talk about it. You see Australia talk about it. You see UK talk about it. You see all through Europe talk about it. It is a global thing. In these BBB bills, you talk about all these social infrastructures, but buried deep is central bank stuff, is crypto stuff, and this is vital. We're going to break down exactly what you can do in this video to start avoiding this, because if you don't take action now, crypto, A, is not going to be worth anything anyway, but B, won't be viable or usable by you. They could make it illegal for you to use it and force you into the Fedcoin and the central banks. People need to start waking up and take these things seriously and taking action. I'm going to break down some steps you could take right now. And also, a lot of you guys have been asking me, what's my favorite crypto? I don't know what my favorite crypto is, but I kind of like this one. I just drew the Shiba Inu. Are you part of the Shiba army? Are you part of the artist army? Clearly I'm not. However, if you look at Shiba Inu, it comes out of the card, which is actually amazing. Are you all in on Shiba Inu? I don't know what to do, but I'm holding to the moon, hopefully. So you already know I talk a lot on this channel about becoming a ghost, because if you don't become a ghost, you're going to lose your identity and you're going to frankly lose your freedom, period. The fact is you're being put in these systems, these social credit scores, which they've already announced they're launching in the United States in 2025, 2026. They're prepping for it now, which means they're getting ready to put your information in the blockchain now. There's a lot of good features of blockchain, crypto, decentralized, but there's a lot of really bad things too, and the governments are starting to utilize this to their advantage. They're also developing AI in the United States, UK, Belgium, Germany, France, Australia, New Zealand, all these countries to track crypto from its origins to tax people. They're also looking at doing, which they were going to do a beta program on this in California, but they're looking at doing taxable receipts, meaning on things like crypto, they're looking at making it property and then basically taxing you not on unrealized capital gains. Luckily, that failed. We did videos talking about Janet Yellen's unrealized capital gains, but they're looking at taxing you on receipt of crypto. So basically fair market value on a yearly basis. This is in the BBB bill. You need to not let this pass. Now, it failed. So you'd be like, yeah, it failed. But literally, Biden, in front of the whole world yesterday, said they're breaking it up in chunks and they're going to pass it in chunks. And they probably will. You've seen what happened in the infrastructure bill. You excited about that? Now you have to declare all of your crypto. The anonymity's gone. The decentralization is leaving. They also got a piece in the BBB bill that mandates that every single crypto company, whether you've got coins, tokens, NFTs, have to be able to account for every token and every NFT. How are they going to do that? You say, well, they don't understand blockchain. Exactly. And if they pass laws to make this unviable, you're screwed. You can't do it anymore. It'll be just like prohibition. And that's what people don't understand. And we've already seen this in China. They're already banning mass swaths of crypto in India. And I had a few people when I talked about this 3 months ago saying, Cody, that's not going to happen. And then it just happened. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's the same thing we're seeing in Australia, where they're moving to a central bank. This is going to be serious and dire. Now, they've been using what's happening in the world the last 2 years, the crisis, if you will, for the last 2 years to usher in normalcy for the social credit score. You saw that in England, they just relaxed some of the mandates. They just basically ended a lot of the C19 stuff. Okay, cool. Except for the problem is now they're moving to phase 2. So instead of plan B, they moved to plan A. They eased up on everything and everyone's like, yeah. but now they're moving into phase 2 on the BBB. They're not ahead of the curve. They're ahead of the curve on the social credit score and on the system that they're ushering in for the central banks. I think it's awesome that some people in London are like, yeah, we did it. Oh, you did it all right. And you're going to see what comes next. And what comes next is 5 times worse than everything you just were going through. Because the fact is, these new social credit scores, these new social passports, these new tracking chips, and you've got them built into all your phones now, are tracking what you do, where you go, how you do it, who you talk to, who you communicate with, where you shop, when you wake up, when you go to the bathroom. Like literally everything in your life, everything you do is tracked and cataloged and stored in metadata and these data collection sites. Forget being a ghost like I talk about with misinformation, anonymous addresses, anonymous crypto, anonymous banking, the stuff that I teach my clients how to do to drop off the grid and be invisible, asset protection, shield your assets. That's all vital to be free. If you don't become a ghost, you won't be a free citizen very much long. I don't care what country you live in, whether it's the United States or anywhere. But these companies and these governments are taking it so much further, it's not even funny. And with crypto, crypto is the one thing, it's the one thing. Well, maybe gold and silver, but the problem with gold and silver is it's so suppressed, it's stagnant. I mean, gold hasn't done anything in a decade. In a decade. I like listening to some of the gold bulls like Peter Schiff and some of these other people, but it hasn't done anything in a decade. Gold is a good store of wealth. Silver, a good store of wealth. And I'm invested in gold and silver. I love gold and silver. I'm a huge proponent of gold and silver. But realistically, digitally, digital property, crypto is the best bet. So I've talked a lot about crypto on this channel because it gives you a digital asset where you can pick up and move. Land is important, property is important, crypto is important, and gold and silver are important. Everything else has basically become useless. I mean, the stock market's completely manipulated. We've pumped up over $4 trillion into it. It's a disaster. So what can we do moving forward? What can we do to start protecting ourselves crypto-wise? Well, the first thing is we got to vote in people, and I hate to go the political route, but guys, it's true. You get what you vote for, and at a certain point, we got to bring people in that quit smashing crypto. And a lot of it is we're getting these 70, 80-year-olds that think crypto is a fad, that don't think anybody cares. And when nobody stands up for it, that's what you get, period. That is what you get. And in all fairness to a lot of people in Congress, a lot of the crypto community is scary quiet. And there's a few people talking about it, and I respect that, but most people aren't sharing the message. And so the government thinks, oh, it's just another fad, it's just another flyby. We got Hillary Clinton coming out saying crypto is one of the biggest threats to society right now. No, it's the biggest threat to her and her power. It's the biggest threat to central banks and the people who fund her. But it's not a threat to me and you. It's actually one of the biggest freedom assets and tools that we currently have, and they're trying to cripple that, and they will succeed. They will succeed if we don't start taking action and make our voices heard. Now, do not own crypto in your name. If you do own crypto in your name, you need to become a ghost. You need to run everything through corporations, through ghost companies. You need to start doing ghost banking. You got to stop supporting these big banks because they are ushering in these central banks and you're giving them all the power. Banks have laws on the books that they can literally leverage every dollar in their account 99 times. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme and fraud ever. This is nothing new, but they're utilizing that to crush us at this point. We've seen Wells Fargo, we've seen Chase. Now, can you use it for operating income? Is it easy? Is it easy use? Fine. But if you're talking assets, if you're talking holding companies, if you're talking business accounts where you keep your business assets, if you're doing business globally, you need to utilize banks that actually work for you, not you working for them. They take your money, they give you almost zero interest, and then they leverage it 99 times. And then if they fail, they get bailed out. I mean, I couldn't think of a better system for them. And now they're trying to leverage out crypto. And the infighting is crazy. They're talking about Ethereum trying to get XRP sued. I mean, these companies in the crypto space are starting to turn on each other because the SEC is starting to turn on all of them. There's already talks of the SEC filing suit, and they probably will in February, on Ethereum. There's also talks of making these crypto companies turn over all the records to their customers. Now you might be thinking, well, they can't do that. Well, if you're on these exchanges in your name, they can, and then they're going to tax you, not for this year, but for all the years you've ever owned crypto. And this new bill, if you're an American citizen, you will be taxed from 2010 on, and you will get penalties on all the crypto, because the AI they're rolling out is going to be able to track every single coin that has ever been utilized on the blockchain, period. And they associate any of that with you, it's going to be a serious problem. Now, there is some spoofing, there is some masking, there is some tumbling, there is some things you can do, but you have to take action. It's like the building's on fire, and most of the crypto people are like, yeah, but it's on the 7th floor, we're on the 3rd floor, so we're going to watch a TV show. That's literally the crypto space. And normally I wouldn't care. Normally I wouldn't care if people want to destroy themselves, because frankly, at a certain point, it's not my problem. To be brutally honest, it sounds mean, but it's a fact. It's a fact. I structure my business. I'm successful doing what I do. I live an incredible life, to be honest with you. So frankly, I let these people destroy themselves and whatever. But they're going to destroy a big part of the crypto industry with them, which is very unfortunate. For me, it's not the money I have invested. It's one of the last freedom vehicles. You need to quit giving these companies all this data. And crypto is not anonymous. Crypto, the blockchain, you have no decentralization. You realize that most of these crypto companies, decentralization is a freaking myth. There are decentralized companies for sure. But a lot of these companies now coming in, they don't have anything. They're just pumping and dumping and hiring these cheesy influencers to buy, or they give them coins, pump it, pull the rug. How many times are you guys going to fall for this? How many times are people going to keep doing the same thing? Crypto should never be in your name. It should be in corporation name, anonymous banking. You should be doing very little banking with these big national banks. Very little. Otherwise, paying your monthly bills, operating expenses, fine. But everything should be passing through to your company. Your company should definitely be offshore, all of them. Except for maybe when we talk about, if you're doing business in certain sectors in the United States, you can have pass-throughs, you can have S-Corps or C-Corps, utilizing like Delaware corporations. If you're utilizing an LLC, if you're utilizing anonymity aliases, if you're utilizing block shells, if you're utilizing company linking, so there's a lot of corporate company linking that we can utilize. There's some tools in the US that can be used to your benefit, but they should not be connected to you. Own nothing, control everything. Ownership is a myth. You never own anything, really. Let's say I buy a $2 million house on 5 acres. I could pay that off, and then I will be paying property taxes till the day I die. And if I miss the property taxes, I lose it. If I die, my kids got to pay taxes on my estate. They got to pay taxes on the house. They got to pay taxes on my business, on money that I already earned and already paid taxes on. The system is rigged against you. Crypto is one of the last vehicles we have to start to level the playing field, and people are letting it go. The crypto space is not good. And you know the biggest thing they're looking at shutting down, and I'm not convinced they're not going to succeed, is DeFi. I will be surprised if DeFi still exists next year. Pretty much across the board, Democrats and Republicans are starting to turn on DeFi. And if you guys don't start act quick, you will not be doing DeFi. There will be no way around it, because they'll make it freaking criminal, which is what they're looking at. And nobody's taking any action. Nobody's like, oh, I don't care. Look at the BBB bills. We've been tearing them apart again. Last one was over 2,500 pages. We tore it apart. We did videos. We talked about it. We stemmed thousands of comments and questions. We were going back and forth. And I appreciate the dialogue with you guys. These new bills are even bigger, and it looks like they're going to be in 7 parts. We're going to be breaking them down, putting them on the new Privacy X project. We have a new section over at the project, and we're going to be building this out this year because this is vital. And what I'm trying to do is build out a section for bills that affect crypto, that affect privacy, that affect your rights, that affect businesses, so that way you guys can see them, because there's so many bills out there. We're not gonna change anything. It's almost gonna be like we're gonna release the pertinent information to our audience, to our viewers on the project so you guys can see it. These are going to be the bills that are written by your congressmen and women, and we're going to do it for the United States, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe. It's got to be English, but I don't have anybody on my team that doesn't speak English, so it's got to be, you know, in our realm. But that's where we're going with this, guys. That's where we're heading, and this is where things are moving forward. And you should be concerned, but you should also be ready to take some freaking action. Otherwise, it's going to pass you by. People keep saying, Cody, you're crazy. Yeah. And then it keeps happening. People told me I was crazy about the stuff with the infrastructure bill. And now you have to declare all this stuff. There's a whole bunch of new rules going into effect this year. At the end of this year, a bunch of crypto rules that are going into effect. Period. And not just the United States, globally. A bunch of declarations, a bunch of extra taxes, a bunch of increases to the capital gains brackets, all because of an infrastructure bill. They told you it was roads and bridges, and it was, but it was also a lot of other things. And this is how politicians do you dirty globally. This is why we're getting so many clients coming into Privacy X from Australia and New Zealand and all the European, Asian, United States, all through the North America, South America. The only continent we have got no clients is Antarctica. Other than that, I got clients worldwide. Pretty much. Maybe not every country, but most of them. Why? Because literally becoming a ghost is the only way to keep your freedom and keep your identity. They're literally packaging people together and selling them. Selling everything about you, everything you do, and then using it against you. And now they're building a social credit score that is going to take all this stuff and literally use it against you for the rest of your life. This is ludicrous. And people are like, oh yeah, no, I mean, it's not that bad, is it? Oh, it's 1984. It's about as totalitarian as it gets. And you guys fell into it with this global situation over the last 2 years. It's almost 2 years. And now we're going to be entering phase 2. They're not hiding it. They're saying the quiet part out loud. That's when it's time to take action. So start analyzing your crypto. Start analyzing what exchanges you use. I did some tier list videos that are really descriptive and break down what exchanges I recommend you use. I talked about crypto wallets, hardware wallet. I broke down, I got a playlist here on the channel of the tier list videos. I'm going to be doing a next series of 8 tier list videos coming up. I've also got some mini docu-series coming up. I've been filming them the last week. I've been doing some stuff. And so I've got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys. Plus we've got videos like this that are informative. Plus I've got some more tutorials. So kind of a wide ranging of different types of videos that'll be happening this year on the Privacy X project. But frankly, guys, take action or plan to lose it all, because the government would be ecstatic, all governments, if they could get rid of crypto tomorrow, and they're ushering that way. They've trained you on crypto, but if they could centralize it and make it a Fedcoin and a central currency that they could turn on and off whenever they want, that they can track whenever they want, that's the end. That's the end of any privacy, of any freedom. You'll have a chip or you'll have a device, and that's all. You have to use that, period. And if you don't do what they like in your social credit score, turn it off. Turn you off. Then what do? Well, there's nothing you can do. No more paper money, no more assets. It's all just digital, and it's all centralized. The one piece you guys keep missing is the decentralization is everything. And I talk to these crypto wizards all the time. They're like, blockchain decentralization. It's like half the tokens you're investing in aren't even decentralized. They basically got Web 2.0 websites selling some pie in the sky dream that never happens. You notice how most crypto are doing very little right now? They're adding very little, but they've got big ambitions, and maybe in the future, if that future doesn't come quick, if we don't start ushering in the system quick, they're going to usher in their own. So I would start analyzing your crypto portfolios. I would start backing projects that actually do something, that take action. I would get all of your crypto out of your name quickly. You talk about hardware wallets, you talk about offshore, you talk about ghost companies, which is literally what we do at Privacy X. So you can check out privacyxproject.com. But frankly, I would start analyzing where crypto's going. Anyway, appreciate you guys checking out the video. Don't worry, make sure you go all in, subscribe to the channel, put out new content all the time. Have an amazing day, guys. Action over everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video.